What's going on, guys? Chunky back here on my channel. I'm finally bringing you guys another game review, this time for Metal Gear Survive. Metal Gear Survive is more of a departure from its predecessors, throwing away stealth mechanics for an action survival experience and a zombie-centric experience at that. Now the question is, with Metal Gear Survive being so different and without Hideo Kojima at the reins, is this any good? Well, I'm here to say, no, it's not fucking good. It's not fucking bad, it's just not good. Being a huge Metal Gear fan myself, games like Ground Zeroes and even Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain is an absolute masterpiece, something that everyone should play and one of the better, if not best games on the next generation of consoles. Metal Gear Survive is not that. Firstly, the brief plot. Metal Gear Survive picks up at the end of Ground Zeroes, where Big Boss's mother base is being attacked. You're one of the leftover soldiers there, and after Big Boss leaves and narrowly escapes, you see a huge portal sucking in what's left of Mother Base. You're fortunately saved from this as it cuts off right before you're about to get sucked in, but then you find out that you've got to go back to this parallel universe to rescue a team of special operatives that are stuck there and to find a cure for this infection that you supposedly have. Now, that's just the intro to the story, and it just gets crazier from there. Now, without going into any spoilers, I'm not going to flesh out any more of the story. My problem with the story is that, number one, it's nonsensical. It makes no fucking sense. And number two, it just doesn't do anything important. It doesn't add anything important to the Metal Gear franchise. It doesn't feel necessary, and it feels like a bit of a slog. The story isn't really as important as you might think. It is just a few cutscenes in between the gameplay of survival gameplay, monotonous repetitive gameplay. Cutscenes that just kind of roll you along and bring you through to a really uneventful finale that I thought was just plain boring. With the story out of the way, Metal Gear Survive relies really heavily on its mechanics. Now, being Metal Gear Survive, it's a survival game. So on top of fighting all these zombies off, you have to manage your thirst, hunger, oxygen, and fatigue. It all makes sense, but the problem with Metal Gear Survive is these mechanics bother you all the fucking time. And what I mean by that is, for example, sprinting takes up stamina. To get your stamina back, you've got to drink, you'll become thirsty, you'll become hungry. But these things happen too fucking often. You're scared to sprint because you might get thirsty. You're scared to sprint because your stamina won't return if you don't have enough water. And then you end up moving slowly, like almost to a crawl, so you'll use less stamina so you won't need to go hunting for all these resources. As well as that, hunting is a big part, so it allows you to honestly get these resources so you can navigate through the world and survive, pretty much. The problem I have is all these mechanics are linked in such a way that it's forcing you to do one after the other. Shit, I've run too much, I've been fighting too much, I need to go hunt. Shit, I've been hunting for too long, I need some resources off the enemies in the form of Kuban energy, which allows you to upgrade and craft weapons and fortifications for your base. Now, before I get into those things, my problem is that I found myself having to do too many things too quickly. The game was just shoving me in different directions. If you had more resources, or if your stamina or health, hunger, thirst, all these things weren't bothering you as often as they were, it would be more acceptable. But everything is just so scarce, and I understand that it wants to go for a realistic take. But it's a Metal Gear game. You just showed us at the start that nothing's realistic. It's a wormhole in the sky for a parallel universe with crystal-headed zombies. Like, you're just conflicting yourself already. Oh, we want to have a zombie experience, but we want it to be a realistic survival game. You gotta pick one. You just do. If it was like a satirical take on the zombie franchise, or even a serious take on the zombie franchise without the survival bullshit, then you would have fun with it. But if the zombies were more realistic, in a world that was more realistic, then the survival mechanics would make sense. It's such a conflicted mess, and it doesn't make any sense. Now, lastly, you do have options to upgrade your weapons, craft new weapons, and fortifications for your base. Now, you do have a base that allows you to store all these resources. It's a good point to come back, recollect, and head out again. Now, while I do think this is a good idea, the tutorials which lead you to these sort of things are just so complicated. And they come so in such quick succession. One after another, bang, 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 all in little text boxes. It's just hard to keep up. And you do have access to it in guides and menus, but it's so convoluted and dense. It just doesn't give you enough time to really soak everything in, that it doesn't seem important. Now, it can be fun. If there are a horde of zombies on your way, you go, oh shit, I've got to quickly fortify everything. It's fun, holding everyone off, and it does make for some cool set pieces. But they are so few and far between. You spend most of your time hunting for resources and being frustrated by these stupid mechanics which make you go and hunt for resources 5 minutes after you were just hunting for resources. It's bullshit. It feels broken, and it feels ultimately frustrating beyond belief. Are there any things that are good about this game? Yes, the combat is functional enough. The mechanics are almost ripped straight from the Phantom Pain itself, so it doesn't look bad, it doesn't necessarily play bad. However, this isn't a gripe on Metal Gear Solid 5, but those mechanics are slightly stiff. But for a stealth game, it makes sense because every move you make is deliberate, it's calculated, it's planned. That it doesn't feel stiff. You're not needing to react quickly. It's not necessarily a full-blown action game, so you're not needing to whip out weapons quickly and take on hundreds of enemies. So it made sense. It didn't really frustrate you to the degree that you thought it would. But in Metal Gear Survive, the same mechanics come across as much more frustrating because here you're taking on multiple enemies at once. You have to react much quicker than you think you would. And thirdly, after hours of doing this, you find that you end up just trying to manipulate the game. You instead of reacting quickly and treating it like an action game, you'll just jump on top of a shipping container, which these stupid idiot zombies called Wanderers can't climb, and you just end up poking them with a stick. Now, the problem with that is, while you have access to ballistic weapons and gun combat, the gun combat feels unnecessary because it draws too much attention to your location. And most of the time, you don't have any fucking bullets to take on the attention that it draws. So you just end up fucking not using it in the first place. Why not? I understand that. You're trying to go for this realism once again, but you're making it frustrating for the player, as then you just try and manipulate the game by using weapons like a freaking stick and just hiding behind a fence or on top of a shipping container. Once again, poking away, poking away, poking away. It feels like a really boring grind. Grinds can be boring if the mechanics are boring, and here it shows it in spades. But while I've been smashing this game, it gets even worse. Konami has decided to charge you $10 worth of SV points, in-game currency, to create a new fucking save slot. So if you want to start a new character while keeping your old one, that's going to cost you $10. Unless you want to grind for fucking hours upon hours upon hours to get enough points for a freaking save slot. It's ridiculous, it's a joke, it's not necessary, and if this was Konami's decision, they can go fuck themselves. However, I have nothing bad left to say about the game because I've spent almost 10 minutes saying bad things about it. But, two good things. The game doesn't look like trash, it looks quite nice. The character models are somewhat detailed, and there is a custom creator section at the start which allows for some variety. The gunplay, when it is present, isn't terrible. The melee combat gets a little bit boring, gets a little bit monotonous, but you can upgrade weapons to shake things up. Overall, guys, this is almost a don't play, but I've seen worse and I've played worse, so I'm going to give this an okay play. I wouldn't even recommend buying it at the moment. I'd recommend buying it when it is on sale, if you're a hardcore Metal Gear fan. But even then, it has nothing to do with the series in any important way. So you could really just miss it altogether. If you picked it up for like $5, hey, that's kind of a bargain, but it's still less than acceptable nonetheless. If you could find Metal Gear Solid 5 for like $15-20, you'd be doing yourself a huge favor and getting a fantastic game in the process. That's it from me today, guys. Once again, thank you for watching. As usual, if you liked the video, click that like button down below. And if you have played Metal Gear or have something to say about Metal Gear Survive, please comment down below. And comment actually, what is your favorite Metal Gear game in the whole franchise, even if it's this one. I'll be surprised, but comment down below nonetheless. And last but not least, guys, please subscribe to my channel. The journey to 100 subscribers is almost complete. Please join that race if you haven't already. And to those who have so far, thank you so much for your support. I love you all dearly. That's it from me, guys. This has been Chunky. Thanks for stopping by my world, and I'll see you soon. Take care.